happy, what is today? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you. So if you are over on Facebook and you are watching this video right this second, you don't see that little live button up there in the corner, it means you're watching the replay. Please put hashtag replay in the comments. So we are live on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. So it's so good to be here. And we are going to make a pretty flower arrangement with you guys. When you come on, please tell me hello. Tell me how you're doing today. Tell me where you're from. We'd love to know that. So I do have Victoria here with me, and she is going to read all the comments for all three platforms. Again, we are live on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Today I am going to make a pretty arrangement for my mama. I have not made her an arrangement in quite a while. Thank you for the thumbs up over on Facebook and the hearts. Thanks, guys. My mama loves flowers. And what a blessing it is that my mama loves flowers, because I do too, and I love to deliver those to her. I actually went to her house week and I helped her plant her plants in her little flower pots and her flower beds, and so that was fun. And so it's time for mama to have some fresh flowers on her table, so I thought I would make a beautiful arrangement with you guys. This is a container that I found at an estate sale. So I love a yard sale, an estate sale, a thrift store. I love them because you can find some of the most unique containers for very inexpensive. I tell you, here at our flower shop, we also tell people, if you want to recycle vases, we are so thrilled to recycle your vases. And so we have a lot of people who will just bring and drop off containers that they are no longer using. And so we have found some really fun containers that way too. But today, this one came from an estate sale I got for $2.50. It actually has little tiny pieces of glass that's almost like a mosaic. It's hard for you to see, but it's almost like a little mosaic that has been glued down to a glass vase. It's really very pretty. Almost kind of a green tint to the container. We have filled it with water and added a little bit of fresh flower food. And because it's got such a large mouth, I thought I would tape a grid onto a vase. Now, there are lots of ways that you can grid a vase. You can use tape, just like I'm fixing to use. Now, it doesn't have to be a florist tape. You can absolutely use just some Scotch tape that you have at your house that you wrap presents with. It works just the same. You can use an armature like chicken wire if you wanted to. You can certainly use chicken wire. You can also use little branches. You can kind of take curly willow and wad it up and stick it down into a vase, and it will help make a grid. But there's lots of ways to make a grid, but to me this is one of the easier ways. And I'm just taking this tape and I am just taping it right across the lip of this vase. Now, you need to have a dry vase when you do this, because this tape doesn't really want to stick if it's wet.
You have lots of hellos.
Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. So glad you're all here.
On TikTok, Amaya says, hi from California. Jane says it's beautiful.
Thank you, friends. So glad y'all are here. Thank you for watching.
Yes, the better. Thank you for the follow over on TikTok.
Hey, Jason. Thank you for the follow, friend. Thank you. So glad you're here.
Ria asks, do people get to keep the vases, or do you take them back if they are special? I know this is for your mom.
So often I will do vases that I like for my mama because she's sending it back. If I really like things at fun containers and such, I will often not sell them. I'll make an arrangement for our videos and I'll take them over to mama, or they'll go to my house or things like that. But it's one of those things that's not a great idea for me because I have an overabundance of containers. But it's something that I just really love, and I really enjoy making beautiful arrangements in fun containers for you guys. Now, I often will pick up containers also at like the thrift stores or people who bring us containers. We will put those into the flower shop and send flowers out in those, and we just wash them really good and we just recycle them. And so I have found that that is a wonderful opportunity for people who need to get rid of their containers, their vases, and then for us to be able to recycle and they don't go to the landfill. Okay, so what I did was, it's kind of hard for you to see, but I just taped a grid right on top. And I did also take that clear tape and go all the way around the edge. So I taped where, when I came across, I also taped it down because I didn't want it to come loose, and it will. Next, we're going to come in with some hydrangeas. Now, these are standard hydrangeas that have been tinted green. So my theme for this pretty arrangement are whites and yellows and greens. I just thought it was so springy and perfect with this container. So I'm going to start out with some hydrangeas. So these are just large hydrangeas. They are white, that Callie actually was working on. We were working on another project and she tinted several this pretty green. So I'm just taking my floral knife, I'm cutting that stem at an angle, and I'm just going to tuck that right in to that grid.
Rhea says, I was about to bake some donut muffins, but I wanted to watch you first.
How yummy is that, Rhea?
Kate, thank you for the follow on TikTok.
Thank you, friend. So glad you're here.
Miss D says hello on YouTube.
Hello, Miss D. So hydrangeas are also a great armature. When designing flowers, you can absolutely use hydrangeas as a grid. Now, often I will have people kind of fuss at me because they don't like me covering up my hydrangeas with other flowers. But I really do like to use all these pretty petals to be able to insert other flowers into them because it really works to hold everything kind of together. All right, there's our pretty hydrangeas. Now, quite honestly, you could do that and call it finished. You do not even need another thing for this arrangement. Now, right now in Mississippi, we have snowball viburnum that's blooming. And snowball viburnum looks a whole lot like a hydrangea, except they're in more of a globe shape. They would be absolutely beautiful and something you could certainly harvest out of your yard for an arrangement similar to this. Just put lots of beautiful viburnum blooms in here. Now, the difference in viburnum versus hydrangeas, viburnum often grows up a stem, so it has blooms all the way up a woody stem. A hydrangea has a pretty long stem of its own with one flower. So viburnum isn't quite as easy to work with as the hydrangeas, but it is so, so pretty. I also have some mini green hydrangeas. I thought we would tuck a few of those in.
Melissa Clark on TikTok asks, how many stems so far?
Ooh, let's see. I don't even know. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's 6 stems of white hydrangeas that were tinted green. Next, we're going to come in with some mini green hydrangeas. So a mini green hydrangea is really just the bud of a hydrangea. If you let these fully develop, they would be large white hydrangeas. Thank you for the gifts over on TikTok. Thank you, guys. I am going to leave some of the leaves on these hydrangeas. Now, often you will see me pull the greenery off. The reason you like to pull the leaves off your hydrangeas is because when the water goes up that stem, when they go to drink the water has to stop off at each leaf before it gets to the head of the flower. So if we remove the leaves, then the water goes directly to the head. So often, especially if I am working with fresh floral foam, I like to pull those leaves because I want that water to go directly to that head. But because they're pretty, I'm going to leave them on these stems.
Colleen asks, what's best for the water, Sprite?
So if you do not have fresh floral food, so often fresh floral food, we use just like crystal, is it crystal clear is the name of the floral food, or crystal, what is it? Floralife Crystal Clear, I think is the name of it. Floralife, and it is just a powdered flower food, and what it contains is something to kill the bacteria and then something to give the food to the flowers. So Sprite is sugar. Flowers do feed off the sugar in the Sprite. Another thing you can add to your water is a couple of drops of bleach. And I know that sounds like it would be something that would hurt the flowers, but that bleach kills the bacteria in that water. And then you want to change the water about every other day if at all possible. And that's going to help prolong the life of your flowers too. It's changing that water about every other day. So our hydrangeas are shipped to us with these little plastic sleeves on them. I always leave the plastic sleeves on them in the cooler because the cooler is metal, and the cooler walls get pretty cold. So to me, this gives some protection to the hydrangeas. If you want to pull the plastic off, you absolutely can beforehand, but I just find it just gives it a little more protection. All right, so I just tucked those pretty green hydrangeas, mini greens right down in there. Next we're going to come in, I've got several different pretties.
Sabrina, thank you for the follow on TikTok.
Thank you, friend, so glad you're here.
Beely Blooms says, hi from New Jersey. I've actually asked for my favorite vases back. No obligation, of course.
Fantastic. Yes, I think that's always a wonderful idea. And a lot of times people they don't know what in the world they're going to do with those vases anyway. So I think they're more than happy to return them or to recycle them. So I have some mini carnations. Now I know carnations are not everybody's favorite, but look at these sweet little yellow mini carns. Now the one thing I love about a mini carn is it lasts forever and ever, or a standard carnation for that matter. They last a terribly long time. Like I had carnations sitting on my table and I didn't take care of them as well as I should have, and they lasted for 4 solid weeks on my table. Now mini carnations are going to last that long too. Very, very long lasting and very inexpensive. And so I love that too, because you get the best of both worlds. Something that's very inexpensive, gives you a lot of bang for your buck, and they last forever. So really pretty mini carnations. We're going to tuck some of these in.
Anymore Cowbell says hello and shared our live video.
Thank you, friend. Thank you for the share. I appreciate that so very much.
Mr. Om's Concept says, I'm watching you from Botswana.
Welcome, welcome. So glad you're here.
Kelp, thank you for the follow. And Sunrise to Sunset sent us one. Is that a big heart?
Well, thank you for the heart. Thank you, thank you.
Melissa asks, how would you add magnolia leaves?
So magnolia leaves are very large. So if I were to use magnolia leaves, I would use it around the perimeter of the vase, just kind of around the edge of the arrangement. I wouldn't necessarily go throughout the arrangement just because they would take over. The only thing that I would say about magnolia, I like to use it in fall and winter more than spring, and it's strictly because it's such a dark greenery. It reminds me of winter and fall, but it's perfect to use really anytime. That's just my preference. But again, I would not use it throughout the arrangement. I would use it more just around the edges.
On Facebook, Cindy Hummer Smith asks, Monty, does your viburnum have a scent? The ones I have a scent near a lilac scent. Very powerful. Love when the windows can be open and I can enjoy them.
I guess I have not even noticed. I will go home this afternoon and smell them. I'm glad you told me. I guess I've never paid attention.
Miss Marianne asks, will the mini hydrangeas continue to grow if kept in water?
So as long as you keep them hydrated, they will continue. They will open up. Slowly but surely they will begin to open. Those blooms will. They'll get larger.
Miss Barbara Neal says, hello from Manassas, Virginia. I must tell you that for the first time in about 40 years, I have actual lilacs on a small lilac tree.
Ooh, are they the most beautiful things? I bet they are so lovely.
Miss Angie Ham says she's praying for your mama, and the design is going to be beautiful.
Thank you, sweet friend. Thank you. She is doing so well. She feels good right now. She's doing good.
Miss Rhea says, I saw another florist online, and he used the hydrangeas as a base too.
Does he? Yeah, I tell you, I get a lot of people fussing at me. You covered up all those beautiful hydrangeas. So I just left my stems kind of long. Just kind of wispy and kind of long. Just kind of fun. Next we're going to come in. I do have beautiful green hypericum berries. These are also called coffee berries. Now they come in lots of colors. Reds and greens and peach. And what else? White. And these lots of pretty colors. Another thing about hypericum that's really fun is you can paint them very easily. And so there have been times when we needed them to be burgundy. So you can just take them and pop them with some burgundy paint. You can actually paint these with just paint that you buy from a hardware store. You do not have to use flower paint. Often I will use flower paint because that's what I have available, but you can use hardware store paint on foliage and berries. It's not going to hurt them. So I'm just going to take my pretty green hypericum berries.
Nina19733, thank you for the follow.
Thank you, friend. So glad you're here.
They're really loving the carnations.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
The Lyrical Lily says, hi, friend. Great to see you. I missed what you're working on.
Hello, Emily. Hello. So this is just a pretty arrangement for my mama. My mama needs some flowers at her house, so I thought I would make a pretty arrangement for her. This is in a container that's almost a mosaic glass container that I found at an estate sale for a whole $2.25. And so the less I pay for them, the more excited I am. I don't know about you guys, but that makes me so excited to find a pretty treasure for inexpensive.
Miss Bernice says, Monty, you have converted me. I never liked carnations at all, but you've made me see them through different eyes and taught us how to fluff them.
Oh, I'm so glad. I just think they are just such pretty flowers.
The Lyrical Lily says you're vying for favorite daughter again.
I know, right? I'm trying hard. She is so funny. We all laugh. My nephew at Christmas time had Robbie, my sister, make him a sweatshirt that said Nanny's favorite. And so she wrapped it for him and he opened it at Christmas. And my mama looks over there and she says, I did not give Isaac that shirt. And Isaac said, yes, Nanny, you gave me this shirt. I'm your favorite. So we all pick about being her favorite. We all want to be the favorite. All right. So I also have more pretty flowers because if you're going to do it, go big, right? So I have some white Mondial roses. Now the one thing about a Mondial rose, it opens really big. It will open so big and so beautiful, but it does have a hint of green to it. It's not a true white rose, but it is a hardy rose. Like at Valentine's Day, I really like to get a Mondial because it's so hardy, and it stays pretty for quite a while. They do open really big and showy. I'm just pulling off any of the petals that don't look pretty.
Miss Dorothy Rue asks, can the hypericum berries be grown here?
You know, I have never seen them grow, so I am not exactly sure. I will have to look that up for you.
They're saying it's beautiful.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, thank you. It's just kind of mounded right now, but we're going to make it a little more exciting with some more flowers.
On YouTube, Kiki's Flowers and Gifts says, I love your work.
Oh, thank you, friend. So glad you're here.
Miss D says, it's a beautiful springy floral arrangement, so pretty for your mama.
Thank you, Miss D.
Miss Charlene Newberg says, hi, Monty and Victoria. It's so nice to have a cup of coffee and watch you design, keeping your mom in my prayers.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all really don't know how much those prayers mean. Thank you so much.
Miss Shonda from Dust to Beauties on TikTok says, I don't believe there is a flower out there that is not beautiful. God's landscape.
I completely agree, friend. I completely agree.
Rhea says, when I buy mini carnations, the stems are always in really odd shapes. I always end up with tiny stems and shot glasses.
Oh, and aren't they fun? I have on my windowsill, I have found just different tiny bottles. They used to be old medicine bottles that were glass, and I have taken them and just kind of lined them up on the windowsill. And I love to, especially when my boys were younger, they would pick wildflowers, and you'd take and put those, because they were this long, and you would take them and put them right down in all of those little bottles, and they were so fun and so fun to enjoy, kind of sitting on my table or on my windowsill. So, and that's what's nice about when you have spray flowers, that you can do that exact same thing. You can take some of these individual buds and tuck those right on into little tiny containers, and they make really pretty displays. All right, so I have my Mondale roses, and I'm going to wire them, because if I wire them, they're going to last longer for Mama. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking about 1/4 of a piece of wire. It's about a 21 gauge. I'm going to take it and press it right into the calyx of that rose. So the calyx is the swollen part right up underneath the head of the rose. You just press it in so it just stays in place. And then I'm just going to wrap that wire right around that stem. Now, I realize that this is kind of old school, but what it does is it keeps this little head standing straight up. If the flower ever gets dehydrated, that stem gets weak. And when the stem gets weak, the head gets heavy for a weak stem, so it'll dip his head. And so this little wire just helps to hold those little heads up.
And we have a few people who are just now able to join.
Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. When you come on, please tell me hello, how you're doing, where you're from. We'd love to know that. If y'all would do me a great big favor over all the platforms, if you are enjoying this video, please give us a heart or a thumbs up. That is an easy way to help support our little flower shop. And if you'll hit that share button for me, the more you interact with our videos, the more we can grow. So we would love it if you would do that for us.
Carrie McCullen on TikTok says it's gorgeous.
Thank you, Carrie, thank you.
Catherine has a question. She says, when using curly willow to make a handle on an arrangement, is flower wire enough to keep it in place? Thank you, from Buffalo, New York.
Yes, you probably have to wire it pretty good, but yes, it should be plenty to keep it in place. Now, the only thing is that you really probably need to make sure whoever's going to handle that arrangement doesn't try to pick it up by that handle. Because if they pick it up by the handle, it's of course going to not hold because it's not quite strong enough. Thank you for the hearts, guys. Thank you over on Facebook for the hearts. We're going to come in with some lilies. These are oriental lilies. They are tight buds, but the nice part about tight buds is they will open up and be large, pretty lilies. I am going to take and remove some of the leaves. And if you can see, the stamens down in those lilies, go ahead and pull those out. These are pretty tight, so I'm not going to try to open them up. I'm just going to take and cut that stem and nestle it right down into this arrangement.
On TikTok, Sarah Kate says, good afternoon, watching while making some grapevine wreaths.
Hello, friend. I'm so thankful you're here. Thank you for watching.
Frau says, hi, I'm a floral design instructor in Corpus Christi.
Wow.
Looking gorgeous.
Thank you, friend. Thank you. I think it would be so fun to be a floral design instructor. I think that would be fun.
Oh, Miss Margaret, she says, Monty, we would die if we didn't have flowers by the bunch.
I'm so thankful you love me, Miss Margaret. Okay, so I just kind of took those lilies. This is 4 stems of oriental lilies. I kind of just went across the top of my arrangement. Now, when these lilies pop open, you do want to pull the stamens out of the lilies. It is so important, not only for the flower itself. What happens is when that stamen begins to open up, it's going to deposit pollen everywhere. Pollen gets everything yellow. It's going to get my lilies yellow. It's going to get your clothes yellow. It could even get on the tablecloth. If you have a table covering, it could even get on the tablecloth. Now, the trick is when you first see that lily start popping open and you can get your hands on them, go ahead and pull them out. That eliminates the mess. Now, if the mess has already happened and that pollen gets on the inside of those lilies, you're going to take a chenille stem or a pipe cleaner, whatever you'd like to call it. It is a fuzzy little piece of wire. Fold it in half and run it down into that lily and just very carefully wipe the pollen out of the lily. Now, if the pollen gets on your clothes, on your table covering, say you have a pretty tablecloth and pollen gets on your tablecloth, take your clothes, do not scrub them. Pollen has its own oil, so it's going to just embed right into your clothes, okay? Take that shirt, that blouse, that table covering, whatever, lay it right in the sunshine. Lay it right in the very bright sunshine, and the sun will absorb that pollen. It's magic. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it does. So if you ever have it on your clothes, and as a florist, we often get it on our clothes, just take whatever it's on and lay it right in the sunshine. And the sun, you could do that inside or outside. If the sun's pouring into the window, you'll see the rays pour into the window. Lay it right in the sunshine. It will absorb it completely. So there's our pretty lilies kind of all the way across. So as those lilies open, they'll just be large, beautiful open lilies all the way across.
CLRS on TikTok says, I see you left some of the leaves on the roses. Do you always, and does it help them last longer?
So I always feel like, why strip all of this beautiful greenery off if it's pretty? It did not cost extra to leave this pretty greenery on these roses. Now, if it's not pretty, I always tell you to take it off. Anything that doesn't look lovely, remove it from the stem. But if it's pretty, why remove it? So I just think I think it looks nice. So that's the reason I leave it on. If you don't like it, you can always remove it. There's not really a right or a wrong. That's just all in preference. I'm going to take my roses. They have been wired, and I am just going to tuck them throughout.
Eve Walker says, I love watching you work. You are really great. The arrangement you're working on is nice. I'm sorry.
Thank you, friend. No, you are good.
She says, I'm retired 10 years now from floral designing. I miss it so much, but my hands refuse to cooperate.
Oh, I know it can get tough, right? On our hands and our backs and our feet, but I would say I would miss it so. I know when it's time, I'm going to miss it so, because I absolutely love what I do.
Austin Andrews says, my favorite flower teacher.
Hello, Austin. Welcome.
Ellen over on Facebook, Ellen Howard, Says, I've commented here about this before, but here I go again. She says, you look so nice today that the white blouse is very becoming.
Thank you.
She says it's very fresh looking and youthful, and she loves your sweater with the white shirt, and you can wear so many color sweaters with the white shirt.
That's right. You can never go wrong with a white blouse, can you?
She also says, P.S. Your arrangements and your tips are the reason I love watching you every day.
I'm so thankful you're here. Thank you, thank you.
Rhea says it's getting prettier and prettier.
Ah. So basically with those roses, I kind of did what I did with my lilies. I just kind of stayed kind of across the top. Did we go dark?
Thank you, Gracie. I'm so sorry about that.
So I just stayed kind of across the top. Oh, we're shaking a little bit over there on TikTok. Sorry about that, guys. We bumped that camera. So I just kind of went all the way across. Next, we're going to come in with some spray roses. So we have these really, really bold yellow spray roses. We got these in last week for prom. We have another prom this week. So we have been making lots of flowers to wear and to carry. But these were starting to open up. They were really, really open. So I said, give me those yellow roses. They'll be beautiful.
Tammy over on YouTube says, Monty, you are already a floral design teacher. You've taught me so much about floral design.
Thank you, sweet friend. I tell you, Jason and I have talked about it. When we retire, we would love to travel and go and help people in flower shops. I think that would be the most wonderful job, to just be able to go and help people and teach. I think it would be so nice to be able to do that.
Rita and Sonia, thank you for the follows on TikTok.
So glad you're here, friends. Thank you.
Alexis asks, have you ever done a full snapdragon arrangement?
Oh, I guess probably not. But I think it would be beautiful. I don't think you can mess up all snaps. Now, the only thing about snapdragons is often I get my snapdragons from South America, and they are not nearly as hardy and big and showy as like California snapdragons. So I don't get snaps a whole lot here at our flower shop, just strictly because always the prettiest. Okay, there are my yellow flowers. I do have little bitty yellow buttons, but I'm just afraid they're going to get lost in here. So I'm going to just add greenery. So the flowers so far that we used include large white hydrangeas. You can see them down here at the base, that we tinted with a little bit of green floral paint. Anytime you paint fresh flowers, always use paint that's made specifically for fresh flowers, okay? Don't use store-bought paint to spray paint your flowers. They just won't be very happy. We used mini yellow carnations. I used green hypericum berries, coffee berries, they're also called. We used Mondale standard white roses, which are kind of a green tint. We used oriental lilies that kind of came all the way across the top. And I didn't say mini green hydrangeas, but we've got some pretty little mini green hydrangeas tucked in there too. So the greenery I thought we would use, I have Parvifolia eucalyptus. Parvifolia. Say it.
Parvifolia.
Why is it easy for you to say and I cannot say it? Parvifolia. Did I say that right? I don't know why that's a hard word to say, but it is for me. Eucalyptus, we got some eucalyptus, my southern twang. And then I have some Italian ruscus. So I love how this Italian ruscus has such a pretty viney effect, but I really like the color of the eucalyptus. So I'm going to come in with my eucalyptus first, and then we will see if we need the Italian ruscus.
Austin Andrews asks if you have any tips to open lilies quicker for open lily arrangements.
Warm water in a bucket, remove all of the greenery off of your lilies. Anytime you want anything to open quickly, always remove all of the greenery. Any leaves or anything like that, remove them. And give it a good cut and put in really warm water. You can take your fingers and slightly try to open them, but they tear so easily. So I would say put them in warm water. Most of the time ours open pretty quickly. Now these, when they came in, we always will half the box. We will put half the box, we'll leave it out and let those open. The other half we'll put it in our cooler, so that we have them opening in stages. But yeah, just cut them, give them a really good cut and put in warm water. Change that water and they should open for you.
Job on TikTok says the lilies and carnations are very expensive here in South Africa.
Wow. Now lilies are not cheap. These lilies retail for about $5 a stem, so they are not cheap, but you get a lot for your money. Now carnations are very inexpensive. Like these mini carnations would retail for about $1 a stem here. So it's interesting at how different places cost different things. Now I do order all my flowers in bulk. I order them from a company called Budsy, and so I do order in bulk. So hydrangeas, we get like 36 stems in a box, and you can get mixed boxes of hydrangeas. I'll often get solid boxes, but you can get mixed. Roses, we often get mixed boxes of roses. Carnations, you can get mixed or solid.
Miss Janice says, Monty, my heart surgery is scheduled for the 23rd of this month.
I will certainly pray, Miss Janice. I will certainly pray. Guys, please put Miss Janice Back Salone on your prayer list. She is going to have a procedure on her heart, so please lift her up in prayer.
Catherine says, I'm making arrangements this weekend for a shower using tulips. Any advice to keep them from drooping? When should I make the arrangements? The day before? Love how this arrangement is looking.
Here's a trick to a tulip, and this is a weird trick. Put a penny in the water and those tulips are going to stand up. I don't know why it works. I don't know how it works, but give those stems a really good cut and always drop a penny right down into the water. If you will do that even in the bucket when you process your tulips, they should all stand up. Always remember, when designing with tulips, tulips continue to grow. So you almost want to cut them a little shorter than you would prefer them to be in your arrangement, because within the next few hours to the next day, they are going to be taller. That's so fun to me about a tulip. That's so interesting. Another fun trick with a tulip is you can flare them open. You can open those petals and flare them, which is really pretty, but you can certainly make your arrangement the day before. Keep it in a cool space and it should be happy and pretty.
Miss Becky says her grandmother raised snapdragons and Gerber daisies for florists.
Really? That is so cool. I have never grown a snapdragon. They get kind of spindly here in Mississippi because we're so hot. But that is so neat. I bet they were beautiful and so hardy. They're always happier and hardier when they come direct from a grower.
Miss Mary Beth says, thank you, just 1 penny per vase, and can you do that with a vase of only tulips as well? Yes,
absolutely. And if it's a mixed arrangement and it has tulips in it, you can drop that penny in. It's not going to hurt any of your other flowers. And yes, you can put it in just with tulips or mixed arrangement.
Just 1 penny.
1 penny's plenty. But if you wanted to add a couple, you could certainly do that too.
Over on YouTube, Gracie says those spray roses look delicious. It's a beautiful arrangement.
Thank you, friend. Thank you, thank you. So my color, I'm a yellow girl. And so I always think yellow might just be the happiest color in the world. And I am all about happiness. And so I love yellow in a flower arrangement. And anytime anybody calls the flower shop and says, no yellow, please, I'm like, I can't even make it. I can't make it, Callie. Callie, you'll have to make it. Or Victoria, you'll have to make it.
Austin Andrews asks, what is this arrangement for?
This is just going to go to my mama's house for her to enjoy. And so I just thought I would make a beautiful arrangement with you guys so I can deliver it out to
Miss Tammy says, pick me, come to my shop in Texas and teach.
Oh, I would love to. I think that would be the most fun ever, is to just go and visit people and help. I think that would be so fun.
Miss Becky says, whose grandmother raised
The snapdragons and the Gerbers.
Mm-hmm. She says, it was such a beautiful sight. When I was a child, I always said I wanted to get married in the fields.
Oh, I know. I think that would be so beautiful. I bet they were amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, guys. There is our mixed arrangement. It's just all the way around. Again, I just chose whites and greens and yellows. Just to make a pretty mixed arrangement. Now this arrangement could very easily be designed much differently, where you took the individual types of flowers and you could put those in like flower sections. But I really like a mixed arrangement that kind of has the flowers all the way through. It's just kind of pretty and fun. And I love the movement of that eucalyptus. Okay.
Miss Mary Beth asks, can you put the penny in if you've already put your flower food in the vase?
Absolutely. Yes, and often we will take that penny, and we usually use small little black buckets, and we'll put a penny or two in our bucket when we process, but we also put flower food. It's never hurt them.
Austin Andrews asks, what was the hardest or most challenging arrangement you've done?
Oh gosh. I think usually the most challenging is often a loved one's arrangement. Like if you have a loved one that has passed away, to me that might be the most challenging, just because you put so much pressure on yourself. Often I think that's probably the most challenging.
J.K. Horn says, my 18-year-old is an amazing designer. What advice do you have for a new florist?
Keep practicing. Keep doing it. You will absolutely love it. Now let me say, it is not an easy job, and you're never going to be rich. So don't have aspirations of going out and being rich when you do this, but it might just be the most rewarding job I have ever had, and I absolutely love every second of every day being able to design flowers. So have fun and be creative and keep going. I absolutely love it, and I hope you do too.
They're saying it's beautiful.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Actually, I think that was all the questions.
All right, guys, y'all, thank you for being here. Thank you. If you have more questions about how we do things here at Flowers by the Bunch, you can always ask. Drop it in Messenger, send me a message, give us a call here at the Flower Shop. I am so happy to answer any questions you might have. I appreciate you so very much. Remember, anytime you see our videos, please interact with them. Please give us a thumbs up or a heart. Or if you don't like it, tell me why, and maybe I can fix it. Guys, I hope you have a wonderful evening. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you soon.